What's up guys, and welcome back to another video of Master Bricks. Today I have a LEGO custom build. This is a 2020 Formula 1 car, and if you follow Formula 1, you'll see that this looks a lot like the newest AlphaTauri team. But I wasn't going for that specifically, I just had those colors available. And I will be putting this on LEGO Ideas, so if you want to support this, then just click on the link in the description. So let's dive right in, starting at the front and moving back. I just want to point out that this car is raked forward, so at the back it's higher than the front. See, at the back you can see two plates, that gray one and white one. At the front, there's only space for one under the floor. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. And now, starting with the front wing. So I tried to add as much detail as I could to this front wing. I have angled the whole wing back like they are on the real cars, and also on the back. I have added end plates, which are these little things that stick up. Those are just aerodynamic devices to prevent airflow mixing and stuff. And I used these 1x2 slopes with the grills on the top to represent more aerodynamic devices, some small wings and winglets and whatnot. And this nose does become thinner towards the front. Then, moving back to the wheels, I have used axles, Technic axles, going all the way through, which means that this car can roll better. It means it has less friction and it's easier to roll. If I used Technic pins, then it would be a bit harder, and I did experiment with that. So then I've also added, only on the front, simulated suspension. So there's suspension arms. On real Formula 1 cars, they'd be way more. They'd be like, I think, not including the driving axle, I think there's like 4. But since this is LEGO scale, I could only fit in 1. And that's only for the front. On the back, there's not enough space. So I'll show you that later. Then moving back, there is this large gap between the front wheels and the main cockpit, which is there on actual Formula 1 cars, if you've ever seen one. Then moving back, there are these engine intakes on the sides with those black plates representing the actual insides, which is dark. And I have those on both sides, and those two intakes are primarily for the engines, and then this one intake there, that is for the cooling systems and for the turbofan, and that sits right above the driver's head. Then I have added little side view mirrors, these white cheese slopes. And the thing that you're probably wondering is, what's this like tube contraption thing going all the way around and then this gray bit attached to it? That is what's known as the halo, which is a device that is designed to protect the driver's heads from incoming objects. They just hit onto this and bounce off. And I have added that here. And now, inside the cockpit, there is a steering wheel which is mounted sideways, like they are supposed to be. And the driver's legs do go under the steering wheel, which is again how it's supposed to be. But now, this is kind of where LEGO gets in the way a bit. So, right now I have a minifigure inside, but on a real Formula 1 car, a person's legs would come right up to the wheels. So they'd be right there, a person's feet. And they'd go here, and then here they'd sit upright. But since this is Lego, his feet just go under the steering wheel there. And so that's why it's not to scale. And it's easy to remove a guy. If you have a helmet on, you just take the helmet off, so it's easier to grab him. And he sits inside like this, like in a laying position, which is like realistic. In the real cars, the drivers are basically lying down, and only their head sticks up. So he does have to be in this position, and to get him back in, you just slide his legs under the wheel, and you press him down. And if you want to be more realistic, you can take off the steering wheel, which is, again, how they do it in real life. Then, moving back, the engine intakes that I showed you earlier, they curve inwards. And then there's this, which is the floor. It's called the floor, which is left, which stays like that. And it moves back to the rear wheels, and it doesn't touch it, but it's almost touching. There's like a millimeter or so. It's very, very tight, which is how it's supposed to be. I've looked at hundreds of images, and you wouldn't believe how close those are. And then again, for the back, I did use axles again for smoother rolling abilities. And then back here, this is where the gearbox would be, and that part is thinner, how it's supposed to be. And then under the rear wing, I have smoothened things out, and then the rear wing looks pretty proper. It curves outwards, so it's thinner at the base, and it curves outwards. And you've probably noticed there are 3 lights, and the bottom one is always on. It's just like so you can see the driver ahead, and the top 2 are when the battery is charging on the car, so you know that it's going a bit slower, so that you don't crash into the car ahead, because they go really, really fast. They go over 300 kilometers an hour, actually. That's around 200 miles per hour. And one last thing I want to point out that I forgot to. So when you remove the figure, the scale, I forgot to show you. This is what the car looks like next to a figure. The car is too big. Here, this is the figure at the front wing. So there's no camera tricks or anything. The car is too big, but that's again because Lego minifigures are how they are. Like if this was real life, the person would have his legs here, and just his head would be sticking out. It would be like lying in a bed. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you like this, then click on the link below to go to LEGO Ideas and support it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time.